Hello friends, welcome to my channel Akash Tech. Today in continuance to previous day session, what we covered in the previous day where we created a port and then executed the image output through the browser. So today we will see that how the replication controller, what is the significance of the replication controller in the Kubernetes and how it works. What are labels inside the replication controller? Then we will see that how we can use the different commands with the kubectl for creating the YAML with the create and replace, apply, and then we will understand that what is replica. So the entire session will cover the part of the replication controller. So before starting to the session, let me just create one report and try to execute the same which we covered in the last day. So in order to execute the same, so first we need to check whether any code is running. So let me just check whether any code is running with the command kubectl codes. So here I can see, let's see, okay, so the ports are running, which we created in the last day. So what we can do, let's delete the port all, delete hyphen hyphen all will delete all the ports. So in case, let me just increase the font size, the font, and let me just do the 28. So I hope the screen is visible and it is clear. So what it is doing, it is deleting the ports. So I'll do the kubectl. So if I'll do the kubectl get ports. So now let's see that what is the output. Now we can see that there is no ports currently available. Now in order to create the let's create one of the port. So as we already know that how we can create the port using the command kubectl run. Let's take any of the name like web OS1, and then I need to take one image hyphen hyphen image equal to take the old image, remove. Okay, so this is one of the image that I pulled from the Docker Hub and using here for executing the same to the uh, so that my code will be executed. So let me just execute it. So it is giving some error. kubectl is not required. Okay, so I have used the kubectl. I need to use the kubectl, KUBE. Let me just go and correct the command kubectl. And now the command it's executing and the port is created. Right, now let me just run the command kubectl get ports. So let me run this command and see the output. Okay, now I can see that the board is successfully running. Now in this way we can create the port. Now we can check the description that what is the description for the port. So using the command kubectl describe web OS1. So with the describe I need to use the command like ports because I am describing the ports. So let me just enter it. Okay, now I can see the output is here. So in this output, I can see that the port is successfully created. And let's go up. I think that it's scrolled down. So let's go up. And here I can see this is the container ID, which we checked last day. And this is the image which we use. And this is the private IP. So here, whenever we expose any of the code, Then it comes to the first it comes to the its IP, and then it will find the private IP. They're using the node port. So how we can use the same? So let's expose the port. So how we can expose the port? So in the last session we perform the same use case where we expose the port. So let's try the same kubectl, then port, and which port we need to expose, which recently created WebOS 1, and I need to give the port. So let me just slightly reduce the font because it is coming out of the window. So let's go and font. Okay, then it's fine now. Okay, kubectl expose port WebOS 1, and now I need to use the port name hyphen hyphen exposing it with the port 80, and so here I am exposing the this port with the port 80 and the node port. So let's enter it and see. Okay, I can see that the web OS is exposed, and I can check the services kubectl get services. So let's see the output. So I can see here the it is web OS is exposed properly. Okay, and this is the port number. Now, whenever the request that is coming onto this port, it will enter it via the port number 80. Right. This is also we called as a the patting that we have done. The request is coming onto this port, and via this it is going into the port 80. So now let me just check the IP as we checked in the previous day. Minikube service web OS 1 and hyphen hyphen URL. So it will give the IP. Okay, it has given the IP and the port. Now this it has given the complete URL using the same port. If you see here, this is the port that is exposed, and this is the complete URL. So once I will use this complete URL on my browser, so it will give the output of the image. So let me just run into the browser. Let me just copy it and then paste. So let me just uh, go to the browser. So here is the browser, and here is the IP that I have pasted it, and then enter. So if you will see here, this is the command output of the image. And if I refresh it, you can see that the packets RxTX packets are updating. And if I increase the font, okay, fine. So this is how the request is coming onto this port, and going into the via the Kubernetes where we have created this service, which is coming onto the using this service IP and going into this the port, and inside the port there is a container where we have created this image. Okay, now let's go back to the our terminal and understand further about the same. So let me just go back to the terminal. Okay, so now I came back to the terminal, and now we understood that how the the request is coming from the browser from the port 32121 port, and it is coming onto the Kubernetes by exposing the port. Now, this is if I run the command like kubectl get ports. So in this output, I can see that there is a only one port is running. Now, what if I require the more than one port and the ports in such a way that that in case one of the port gets down, then automatically it gets started. So I need I can create the same using the replicas. So with the replicas, the same number of ports will be created. Now, in case any of the port is deleted, then I need to start the port. But using the replication controller. So replication controller which ensures that a specified number of port replicas are running at any one time. So in layman language, if I say that it is like a supervisor who continuously checks the code based on the current state and the desired state. So what is the current state and what is the desired state? So current state is the present state, that how many ports are currently running, and desired state that how many ports how many we the during the configuration of the port replicas, that how many replicas we have defined. If we have defined 4, so minimum 4 ports will continue to run. And if the current state, if suppose one port is deleted due to some any activity, for an example, if the port is recreated due to the disruptive maintenance such as the kernel upgrade. So for this reason, you should use a at this moment you should use a replication controller. And even if application requires only a single port, as replication controller which is similar to a process, as I told you, that like a supervisor, but instead of supervising the individual process on a single node, replication controller supervises multiple port across multiple nodes. So that means that if any of the port is deleted, then automatically it will start the port based on the number of desired state. So abbreviation if we use for the replication controller is like RC. So let's create first the RC. So if currently if you see there, we can check, as we check for the ports with the kubectl get ports, we can check the same with the RC, kubectl get RC. So here currently it is showing that no resources found in default namespace. So there is no RC is created. And let's check with the in case if I want to check the label of the app. So if I have the web OS one, and let's see that whether any label is set or not. So kubectl get ports -l, and let's see the output. So here you can see this. I executed this command kubectl get ports -lf. So here the app is for the label, so there is no label set for the web OS one, but it is showing. So now let's create one the replication controller and understand further on the same, that how the replication controller works and how we can execute the same, and how the ports inside the replication controller keep started whenever any of the port is deleted. So in order to create the same, there are the two way as we discussed yesterday, whether by code or whether by a command or whether by a code. So it is always useful that to write a code in the YAML. So let's go to our notepad and write the YAML code for the replication controller. So in order to open the notepad, you can write the command like notepad. And if I want to create one file like rc.yaml, so you can create like rc.yaml. So enter it. So once I enter it, then let me just show you. So let's go to the notepad. So once you will run this command, and after then this notepad file will open. So here, once this notepad file will open, then you need to write your YAML code. So in order to start the same, the initial header that you need to use as API version colon v1. Okay, then you need to define the kind. As in the previous day, once we were creating a port, we used kind as a port. But now here I am using, I want to create a replication controller. So I will create with the replication controller. Then I will create the metadata, and I will give the name my RC1. Now I need to define specification, and inside the specification I can define the replicas. So the replica, and I want that how many ports do you want to create? Let's say 5 ports is the desired. So 5 ports should always be started. In case if any of the port is down due to some reason, then automatically it started. So now I need to define the labels. So in order to define the labels, I need to use the selector, and later on I need to use the selector. So here I need to use app. So I'm using this label as a web for this app. Now I need to define the template. So inside the template, I need to define the metadata, and inside the metadata, I need to define the name, and the name I need to define the port. So let's say I want to create one port like my port 1. Okay, let's create with the name with the my port 1, and closing with the inverted quotes, and then creating the labels, and using the same labels which we defined above. So here if you see that this is the YAML code, and a proper indentation is required. Right? Every keyword is having the proper indentation. So specification I have defined replicas, then select the selector, the proper indentation with the app, web, and then template, and inside the template I have defined metadata, and inside the metadata I have defined name, then labels, app, web. Then I need to define the containers, and inside the container I need to find the image. So for the same, similarly I need to use the specification as a keyword, but should be in the same indentation of metadata. So spec, and inside it I can use the containers, and after then I can use one name, and let's say my container name I have given like my C1. Let's define the image. Let's use the same image which we are using in our example. Here I can use the API version. Then I have used this the kind replication controller, then metadata, then selector, then template I have defined. Then I have defined these labels, and then specification, then file. So let's start. Let's execute the same. So let me just save it and then close it, and let's go back to our terminal. So let's go back to the terminal, and we'll create this file. So here, if I see if let's go to the terminal, and okay. So in order to create the same, I need to use the kubectl create -f and rc.yaml. So this is the command that we need to create any of the YAML code if we create it using the create command. So kubectl create -f rc.yaml. So let's see if it is giving some error or it executed successfully. Perfect. So it executed successfully, and if you can see here, the replication controller is created. So inside this, if I want to check, in order to check the replication controller, ptl get rc, same command. So here you can see that we have defined 5 replicas. So the desired is 5, and the current state is also 5, and ready is 5. Now if I run this command kubectl and want to check the ports, so if I check the ports over here, so perfect, you can see that I have created this. The number of desires are 5, so 5 ports are running perfectly. Okay, and now I want to check the labels. So in order to check the labels, with the command that I use, kubectl get ports -l f, and let's see the labels. Okay, perfect. So this is the labels that we have defined for the code web inside the YAML code, and it is showing the labels as well. Okay, so this is the way we can create the code, and we can uh, the replication controller is created, and we have defined the web as a label. Now, in order to test the same, let's delete one of the ports. kubectl delete port, and let's delete this port. And after then, let's run this kubectl get rc kubectl. So if you see here that desired is 5, current is 5. So the process is very fast, right? And if you see here get rc kubectl get port. So if you see here get port, so here the 5 ports are running, but if you see here the time, this 24 seconds. So that means the port was recently created. So all the 4 ports having the time of 2 minutes 16 seconds, but this is the only port which is having the 24 seconds. That means the port that we deleted automatically it recreated. So the process is so fast that once any of the port is created, it checks with the desired state that how many the ports that we need to keep running, and based on it, it starts the port. So this is in the today use case that we wanted to cover. Now this is the kubectl create command that we wanted to create. Now in case if we want to change anything inside the existing file rc.yaml. So for the same we can open the same with the same rc.yaml, right? And let's see, let's open this rc.yaml, and let me just go back to this notepad, and we'll show you that where we use the apply command and where we use the create command. So this is our YAML file. So inside this YAML, let's change something. Let's change the labels. So my RC1 replica. So instead of replicas, let's use the 3. Okay, instead of 4, I want to use the 3. And I saved it, and I close this file, and let's go back to the your terminal, and we'll execute this code. Now, if you see, if you saw there, I changed in the code instead of 5 replica, I changed it to the 3. So currently, if you see get ports, or if you see here get RC, so here currently it will be showing fine. So now in order to execute the code, I need to use the command kubectl apply -f and rc.yaml. So what this apply command will do, apply will basically the existing, if the YAML code I have, in the same it will check the what are the modification performed, and accordingly it will apply the on the existing code. So let me just create it and let's see that what it is showing. It is saying kubectl apply should be used on resources created by either kubectl create save of the kubectl apply replication configured, and let's see if application is updated. So here you can see that after running this kubectl apply, the existing configuration, the running configuration is updated with the desired 3 and current 3. And if I run the kubectl get ports, so here you can see now the 3 ports are running instead of 5, because our desired is 5 and the current state is also running 5, 3 and ready is also 3. So this is the today use case where we created the replication controller and check that how we can set the labels, how we can create the replication controller via the YAML code, how we can use the create, and how we can use the apply, and how we can find the desired state using the RC command, and how we can check the labels. So this is the entire thing that we have covered in the today's session. So hope you like the session today, today's session where we covered the majority of the things of the Kubernetes related to the replication controller, and try to do the same at your end, practice it, and in case if any query, then please come back to me in my comment section. So in case if you like this video, then like the video. In case if you don't like the video, dislike the video, and share your comments in the comment section, and just subscribe the session so that you will continue to get notification of my new video that I will be uploading on the same. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Bye bye.